Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to sew this simple short Ankara trouser. Yes, you can sew it for yourself or you sew it for your customer. So if this is something that you are interested on, please stay tuned and do well to subscribe and share these videos to people that may need it. So let's get to work. What you need for this short is your Ankara fabric and your scissor, your tape, and your chalk. First, you have to bend it together, double it. Then you measure your hip measurement divided by 4, and then you added extra 5 inch to it. As for someone that is plus size, you can add more inch to it. So for me, I'm not that big, so I added 5 inch for my own because I don't want it to be too big. I don't want it to be too free, but I just want it to just be like kind of bomb short kind of cloth. So the next measurement that we are going to take is going to be from my waist to my hip line, which is 10 inches. And you know that I am going to add elastic to it. I am going to add waistband to it. So I measure it outside. I place my tape starting from the bottom of my dress. I place my 2 inch because I'm going to add an elastic band to it. So I started my measurement. So I count from the outside so that I will replace it with the elastic. So the next measurement that we are going to take is going to be from our waistline to our crotch depth measurement. And to get your crotch depth measurement, for me, I used to divide my round hip into 4, and then I will go ahead and add 2 inches to it to have that crotch depth, so which is going to give me 12 inches. So this is what I am marking out right now. And the next measurement is we are going to measure our full length, the full length of our trouser. I'm going to be using the length of 17 because I don't want it to be too short. You can use your own. You can go ahead and use 20 if you want it to reach your knee length. You can go ahead and do more than 20. You can go ahead and measure according to how you want your trouser where you want your trouser to stop you. So the next measurement that I am going to take now is going to be our crotch extension measurement. To have your crotch extension measurement, you're going to divide your hip measurement into 4, and then you go ahead and divide it into 4. Whatsoever it gives you, that is what you're going to mark. I'll go ahead and place it like this from the outside, and then I will mark it. So this place that I am going to mark it is where we are going to join the cuff. This place that I just mark, and then after curving it like this, I'll go ahead and join it to my knee length, to the length of the trouser. The next thing I'm going to do, you know that the back of our trouser now, we have to slant it. So I'm going to slant it. I'm using 1 inch to slant it because I'm using 1 inch to slant it. So I will slant it, join it with my crotch depth line up to the top of the dress. So this is how it looks like. So when you're cutting it, you just go ahead and cut it out. So the next thing that we are going to do now is to cut out our fabric so that we can go ahead and cut the back measurement. So we'll just go ahead and bend our back side. So we'll just go ahead and place our front piece together on top of the back piece, and then we will go ahead to make sure that everything level together. then and start taking our measurements from there. And then from that depth line, so you go ahead and add the same thing that you added to the cuff, to the crotch depth line. So you go ahead and add the same measurement. As for me, it was 2 inch, so I'll go ahead and it was 2.5, so I'll go ahead and add 2.5 to it. You can go ahead and use 3. This is just, I don't want my trouser to be very free. And then I will just draw a straight line from that list, and then I'll go ahead and start taking my measurement. From there, I will measure 2 inch down to the trouser length. Then I'll go ahead to get the cuff. Now I will still have to cuff the back side. I will take my hip measurement. My hip measurement is 9, so I will mark that point. So that is where I'm going to cuff it. I'm going to join my cuff to it, but I will still mark 2 inches from that 9 inch, so that my cuff will follow like that. So I will join it together, and this is how it looks like. And then I will just go ahead and mark this 2 inch down to the length of the dress, and after that I'll form a straight line and I will mark it out. And then for the top of the dress, that the back of our trouser have to be longer than the front piece, so that while you're sitting on a bike or you're sitting on it somewhere, so that your pants will not be showing or your underwears will not be showing. So that this is the benefit of making your back pants trouser, your back trouser, to be longer than the front piece. So this is what you just go ahead and mark 1 inch of upward, and then you slant it to your center fold. Then after that, you go ahead and cut out your dress. So now we are just going to slant it. We are going to slant our center fold that I marked. So we'll just go ahead and slant it out like this. Yes. And then we'll go ahead and open the fold together to give us the 2 piece of our front trouser and the 2 piece of our back trouser. So you guys, so after cutting it, this is what it looks like, and this is our front piece and the back piece. So what I am going to do now is to go ahead and form our pocketee. Remember that this trouser has a pocket, so we are going to work for our pocketee. We are going to be using the front piece to form a pocket. So the width of my pocketee on the trouser, I'm going to be using 3 inch. You can go ahead and use 3.5 inch, but for me, I like using 3 inch. So for the depth of the trouser, how deep I want it to be, I'm going to be using 7. So after marking them out, I will go ahead and join it together. I will join it together. So this is what it looks like. I'll cuff it. It's just like a slant cuff. So now I will go ahead and cut it out like this. So this is what it looks like after cutting it out. And then I'll just go ahead and cut my pocketee, like the pieces of my pocket. So this is what I'm going to use. I don't want to use much material for this dress, so I'm just going to use whatever leftover material that is there. I don't want to cut another material and join. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to fold it like this too, and then I'll go ahead and fold it again. So the first thing, I will take my measurement. The depth is giving us, that is 12, and the width is giving us 16. So this should be enough. So now I will go ahead and fold it together to give me, now for this our pocket tee, we need 4 pieces of pocket tee. So now I'm going to fold it again. If I should turn it again, that is going to be 4 pieces. So I'll go ahead and fold it again to give us that 4 pieces. Then after folding it, I'll just go ahead and cut it out like this. You can see the depth of our of the pocket tee is 12 inches, and then the width is 8 inches, and that is enough. You can go ahead and make your own pocket tee to be 14. The depth can be 14, the width can still be 8. So depending on how deep you want it to be. So for me, I just need something. I'm using 12 and 8. So this is what is, this is 4 piece. So I'm going to be using 2 pieces of this pocket tee to form the same thing I did on the trouser piece. So I'm going to go ahead and cut it like that out. So make sure that you arrange your fabric, make everything align together. You can see how I am placing it. So this is how your own should be too. So I think this is the easiest way of making a pocket tee. I don't know for others, but for me, with trouser, this is the easiest way of making a pocket tee. No stress. You don't have to stress yourself. So you just go ahead and cut it out. You can see it's having the same shape with the with the trouser, with the front piece of the trouser, and this is what it looks like. So the next thing that we are going to do now is to go ahead and sew the trouser. We are going to sew the trouser, this cuff. You place it together, you sew it. I'm going to be using half an inch to sew it. You can go ahead and use 1 inch, but I'm using half an inch. So you sew both the front piece and the back piece. So after sewing it, this is what it looks like. I've finished sewing the front piece and the back piece of my trouser. So the next thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to be working on the pocket tee. So I will take the front piece, and then I'll carry the pocket tee that on the part that I curve. You can see how it is. So you just go ahead and sew. You place it at the right side facing each other, so that after sewing, so that when you turn it should give you something like this. So I have finished sewing it. So this is what it looks like. You can go ahead and top stitch from the top of the trouser. You can go ahead and top stitch to give you that pocket line. So the next thing we are going to do is to cover up the pocket. So you are going to keep it like this, and then you go ahead and sew it. You sew it round the way it is. You make sure that you don't sew it on top of the trouser. So after you finish, you keep the front piece like this, and then you sew it. So I am done sewing it. So this is what it looks like. You can see our pocket tee have already formed, and we are done sewing both the 2 side of the pocket, and this is what it looks like after sewing it. So the next thing we are going to do is to place the back piece on top of the the front piece. So right side facing each other. So you go ahead. The first part I'm going to sew is the under of the down of our trouser. So you use 1/2 inch to sew it round. So you can go ahead and use 1 inch anyhow you want it, but for me I am using 1/2 inch. So I am done sewing it. This is what it looks like after sewing it. So you can see how neat and beautiful it is. So the next thing we're going to do is to sew the part of our trouser. So you join it together, but for me I like to join from the down part, so that I will not end up having extra allowance. So you join from the down part, and after joining it, this is what it looks like. So our trouser is ready, and the next thing I am going to do now is to fold the down of our dress, the down of our dress. So you take it to your sewing machine, you hold it 1/2 inch in and 1/2 inch. That is what your folding should be, 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch, and that is exactly what I did. And after sewing it, this is what it looks like. Very neat. So the next part we are going to work on, our trouser is almost ready. So the next part we are going to work on now is the waist. You can see the waist. So what you are going to do is you are going to take a measurement of your waist round. So after whatever you get there, that is what you are going to use to cut your waistband. And I have gone ahead to cut my waistband and iron it like this. So you make sure that after you finish cutting your waistband, I cut 4 inches, like the depth of our waistband. I cut 4 inches, then I bend it together, and then the width, that the length is depending on what your waist is. So after that you go ahead and place it on your trouser, and then you go take it to your sewing machine and you sew it round. So after sewing it, this is what it looks like. I've gone ahead to sew it, and this is what our waistband look like. So the next thing that we are going to do, but I make sure that I did not sew all. I left some inch open so that I can use it to pass our elastic band. You know that this waist, we are using waistband. We are using elastic band for the waist. So I've gone ahead to cut my elastic band. So what you are going to cut on your elastic band is your waist measurement. You're going to cut your actual waist measurement, and then you subtract like 3 from it, and then you cut. If your waist measurement is 30, so you are to cut 27, and that is exactly what I did here. So after that, you pass it through the hole with your safety pin, and then this is what we have. So after you're finished passing it, you have to take it to your sewing machine to sew the elastic band. Make sure you sew it very well so that it will not loose. And then after sewing it, you go ahead and push it inside, and then you now go ahead and close the part that you left open so that the elastic will not come out. So after sewing it, this is what our trouser look like. You can see how beautiful it is. So you can sew it for yourself, you can sew it for your customer, or you can do it as a ready to wear dress and sell it. Thank you so much for watching, and please follow us for more videos like this and subscribe to our channel. Bye. See you in our next video.